Okay, so this is in response to a video that I may send out on private to a few people, but I'm going to try to put this video up on public. Basically, I was responding to Phil Helene's The Granddaddy of All Stars video, where he talks about the fact that we are all technically stardust. The same thing is inside all of us, as in the earth, as in the universe. It's that initial force of the Big Bang. So we are all in some way connected, because we are all made of the same core stuff. And realistically speaking, it's that interconnection and that original source of core stuff that we're made out of that I refer to as God at this point in my life. And it is not an entity, and it is not a being in any way. I'm not even sure that it's, in fact, I'm sure actually that it's not a consciousness separate from us. It's simply an inner consciousness that is within all things. It's the same thing in me that causes me to connect to another individual, or causes me to have a sense of some kind of awe or beauty at something, that causes an animal to head for the hills when they sense a natural disaster. It's this innate kind of consciousness that is really built into those very chemicals, I believe, and very proteins that we exist from. Now, what to call that outside of the word God is where I really have the issue. I am addicted to the three-letter word. And I believe that our society and our culture is addicted to the three-letter word. I think that even though we might move beyond that, if we are individuals who do sense some kind of consciousness or some kind of interconnectivity in the universe, we are not really able to describe that. And you can describe that in a million ways and call it a million things, and everybody just gets more and more confused. I thought about, in my video, about calling it Grandmother Stardust. But really, that was like naming it and giving it an identity of its own. And it doesn't have one. It absolutely doesn't have one. So, that wasn't optional. But, I think that we need a word that explains these things and that connects these things, that is distinctive from the word God, but will also help the society to move away from the use of the word God and into the use of source or original existence, kind of common source, a common source. How about that? Something to that effect. And it's just kind of stewing on my brain, because I need something to call God, but it's not actually that I need it to be a being or an identity or an anything. It's that I'm addicted to three letters, G-O-D. It's really quite simple, and it's really quite astounding to me how that is. And I think that we as a society are stuck that way. I mean, there's very little explanation for us for that consciousness gap, that we don't understand, that gap in our ability to comprehend or understand why some of us interconnect on that God gene or whatever it is. So, ultimately, if I don't believe in a God that's a being or a consciousness unto itself, then, that's even less than believing in a personal God. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that makes me an atheist. I don't know what that makes me. I think that just makes me somebody who senses that there could be something we haven't yet explained, and calls it God because they're addicted to a word. Wow. And yeah, being able to continue to have that word in the society, I think is very important as like a form of methadone for the addict. You know, it's not going to leave our language, but it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing anymore. And somehow we all have to agree to what it does and does not mean, so that we can say it without people getting confused. Or I need to stop saying it. I seriously need to stop saying it, and I think common source might be the best kind of thing that would represent something along that lines at this point. But we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, my online atheist therapist can let me know what they think, and the rest of you can too.